Our story today is about a creator and the problems, all of which were self-inflicted, he encounters while attempting to make yet another first, a resin goblet with leftover bits in it from other projects. Our artist had been saving bits and pieces from other projects in anticipation of making a very interesting piece which had the potential to be greatly admired by all who would see it. The moment of creation came when our fledgling artist was making a hybrid bowl of ash and blue resin. Being somewhat new to the calculations required for mixing proper amounts, he mixed way too much resin. At last, the opportunity was at hand. Some of the aforementioned bits and bobs were inserted in the leftover resin, and the quart-sized container was placed on the workbench to cure naturally until time would come to actually start turning that sweet goblet. After some other projects had been completed, the time had finally come. Work began, and it was soon discovered that there were some very large voids in the blank. "Where did these voids come from?" was asked just before "I should have put it in a pressure pot" answered it. Hashtag self-inflicted problem the first. Thinking that the piece would be stronger with these voids filled, our hero chose red as an attractive color to please the viewer and made the repair. One thing our artist knows from watching videos of other creators is that you need to work on the bowl before you shape a narrow, weak stem, especially if you don't have a steady rest. A Forstner bit was used to begin the hollowing process, and the bowl gouge was used for the bulk of the rest of the hollowing. As work progressed, our artist is next perplexed by the multitude of bubbles around some of the scrap wood pieces. He already owns being a knucklehead based on not putting it in the pressure pot. Fortunately, our hero had the foresight to purchase some UV resin prior to this point, and repairs were made yet again. With the inside of the goblet in a good place, work began on the rest of the piece. More voids were encountered, and multiple attempts were made to fill them permanently. Various CA glues of different thicknesses and colors were used, with and without accelerator, along with repeated applications of UV resin. It was after one of these void filling sessions that a certain knucklehead attempted to clean up the outside of the goblet with his negative rake scraper. You have already probably noticed that there is not any tailstock support. Hashtag self-inflicted problem the second. Another repair was effected, and the piece was left overnight. Not surprisingly, our hero remained undaunted at this point, still confident in his ability to create a piece that would last centuries in physical form, even if it didn't last that long in the collective memory of the planet. A little further on, and the time came to clean up the inside of the goblet. The absence of a steady rest had somewhat predictable results. Hashtag self-inflicted problem the third. You may have already seen the video where I made a steady rest. Either way, a link will be in the show notes. Our hero cleaned up the inside of the goblet, and one last round of hole filling was done with CA glue, which was allowed to cure without any accelerator. The piece was mounted on the lathe again with a tailstock in place. The only thing left to do was to finish cleaning it up, sanding and finishing. Let's let the artist bring this story to its conclusion in his own words. So there you have it. This piece didn't work out. I still have the scraps, I still have the pieces, all of them. It's only 4. I may go back to it at some point, but for right now, I've done all I can do. So here's the video that the blue resin came from. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great day.